Hello everybody and welcome to a new city update. This is the very first city update from my new layout. And what you're seeing right now on screen are some pictures of me taking the old Lego City apart. That's right, the old JuMa city layout is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. Of course, all the buildings and some other major big things still exist, but for the most part, it's all been taken apart. Everything, the roads, the elevated section, the sloped street, even the parking garage, it's all been taken apart. And the only part that I've kind of put away in storage is the beach, which I'll put on screen right now. It's just standing on the plate that was used for the parking garage, and I've added some shorter legs to it and put it underneath my city tables, so it's nicely secure, put away, and I'll be able to reuse it at some point, maybe in a few years. But for now we have a different layout, and now that most of the pictures are through, I will show you this place on video. So here we are. This is the new city room, and I've done the most changes to this room that I've ever done. So first of all, something maybe not as obvious to you all, we changed the light bulbs in this room right here to some daylight light bulbs. They look very nice. And in the back room we have a new lamp, which is very flat, and I have this nice remote that I can use to either turn it off or also to change the color to a more cold white or a warm white. So maybe if it's summer, this is the right thing to do, or if it's winter, this very cold color might fit very well. But I think I'll always keep it on the normal daylight mode. I also can turn on some like night mode so that it's very dark. But yeah, that's not really necessary most of the time. I'll just leave it like this. And that's one of the minor changes, but it's also gonna make a big difference, because now I will be able to put the skyscrapers in the back there. And I don't have this ugly lamp that was hanging down there before. This is so much better. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, the background. I finally have a background that is worthy of my Lego City. I had a lot of talking with my aunt. That's where this Lego City is located. It's in my aunt's house. And I've got permission to build a thing, this construction up there. It's basically drilled into these old cabinets that are quite ugly, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it's drilled in there, and we've got these rails running along the top there. I'm very happy how that turned out. It's not a perfect job, but it gets the job done. It perfectly works to hold these curtains in place. This is the best backdrop that I've ever had for my city, and I've kind of calmed down a bit because I've put these up like 2 weeks ago at this point, but I am so happy and excited that I finally have this background for my city. It's just gonna completely change the overall appearance of the city. One of the curtains is still missing because we have to shorten it to be at that height right there of that plate. That's necessary because it can't go behind the plate, because it's right up to that other display case down there. At the bottom we just shortened it a little bit to be right on top of these of this lower part of the shelves. That's very cool. And yeah, I'm just really happy with this. This is literally the best change to this room ever. And I'm super happy how this turned out. This is absolutely amazing. The curtain colors aren't the most realistic and aren't absolutely perfect. I wanted to have something. This is very inspired by Bricks, by the way. I'm going to put a picture on screen right now. His background just looks incredible. It's the perfect kind of sky color gradient going into a more white color. And this was the best alternative that I could find to that. It was also the cheapest one, luckily. But I didn't want to pay like $600 to get some custom made curtains for me. That would just be absolutely ridiculous, and yeah, that just wasn't worth it to me. But I think this is already such an upgrade to the old background, meaning these not so nice looking cabinets, and I'm very glad that I've got these hung up here. And the other very big thing that you might have noticed is all of this woodwork right here. So I've planned this layout, this new layout, for over a year, I believe. I've been thinking about how I can do it, and at the end of the day, this time it was pretty clear to me from the beginning that I didn't want to build my elevated section out of Lego bricks. That would just be such a tedious task and honestly just a huge waste of money and time. So I went for a much stronger and honestly the most clever solution to just build a platform out of wood. So we have this whole platform spanning basically all of my tables. I even have this little insert right there to kind of bridge the gap there. As you can maybe remember, when I had the beach there, I kind of also bridged a little gap there, but it wasn't as wide as this one. Now I have a proper plate in there to kind of give a foundation, and so that way I can properly build upon it. And I've also got this angled plate right here. This is, well, for a train track that's going to go here in a 45-degree angle. It might not be perfectly angled yet, but it's still able to move around. It's also got one table leg as a support there. But yeah, this is just something small. And in the background here, because this has always been the thinnest part of the city, you know, just 3 base plates wide, I wanted to add something to it. So I finally also put another platform back there. So now I'm really, with that expansion, and that tiny expansion right there, I'm having the most space on this layout that I've ever had, ever since, yeah, I've put these tables in the room. This is exciting, and I'll be able to put up some buildings. I'm gonna start doing that today, but you will probably have to wait a bit until the next city update. I'm super excited. This is such a huge step for me. This finally feels like a proper Lego City layout, a semi-professional Lego City layout with the backdrops and with this woodwork construction underneath. It's just gonna be amazing, and you can already see all of this train track. I'm gonna use this and much more because this Lego City is gonna be a little more terrain inclusive. I have more terrain features than I've had in the other city layout, so it's gonna be a tiny little bit more interesting, and you're also just gonna have to wait and see which trains I put in the city. That's also gonna be very cool. But I'm talking about things that are far off in the future. Let's just admire this new background, this woodwork construction, and just this new layout. I'm so happy about it, and you will see how all of this turns out in the next city updates. I really hope you guys stick around because there's the best stuff ever coming up. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next city update.